It's the Cornerman Radio live with Barzini. I want to talk about this. Terence Crawford have just called out Errol Spence live on Instagram, and I'm so surprised that Errol Spence haven't made a comment. Maybe somebody in the subscribers can tell us, or a commenter, or whatever the case might be. But once Keith Thurman said, yo, I see you, young buck, your time coming soon, he responded. He heard about the Mikey situation, he responded. Every time people ask Errol Spence about Crawford, look at his energy, look at his vibe, look at the way he speaks about Crawford. He doesn't speak, his energy doesn't come off aggressively. His energy changed, his tone changed. It's like, bro. And then he's like, yo, he needs to go fight Horn, and then maybe we could talk. We could fight, maybe, once he gets the belt. Bro, Crawford is bigger than anybody you have ever fought in your career, homie. He's a pound-for-pound fighter. You should be jumping to fight Crawford. You should be, this dude is coming up to your weight class where everybody calling you the big bad wolf, the boogeyman. And you ain't, when Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia coming up, he was on him like white on rice. He was like, I'm going to welcome him to the welterweight division. Why is Errol Spence not very arrogant or cocky or with an aggressive tone saying, yo, all he got to do is tell me when? That's what he need to be saying. I don't want to hear about all the politics. I don't want to hear about what he need to do. You need to say, yo, I want to fight this dude. Because I know once I fight this dude, I'm going to be pound for pound number one. Number one. But he don't want no smoke with Terence Crawford. He know Terence Crawford will eat for him. Terence Crawford will make Spence look like an amateur. He don't want no smoke. You know what I mean? People can say whatever they want to say. They can say I don't know nothing about boxing, but they don't know nothing about boxing. Yo, you know what's so crazy? My opinion, right? I'll say something with my opinion, then somebody would say the first thing they would say if they don't like what I'm saying, you don't know nothing about boxing. Man, stop stealing Roger Mayweather line. Like, is this all this bullshit? Stop stealing somebody. Get on your own dick and stop dick riding other niggas. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got, man. Yeah. That's all I got. What's your take on this?
I think it's the best fight, man. I think it's Felix Trinidad versus Pernell Whitaker, except two guys that are in their prime. You know, we know what happened in that fight, but Pernell was at the end of his career. But, you know, Felix got him. You know, it's just Errol Spence reminds me of a southpaw version of Trinidad with them body shots and his power. But then his kryptonite is a guy like Crawford, who's got feet. You know, those feet are what's going to beat Errol Spence. Better footwork. You know what I'm saying? Better footwork. Gauging, not letting Errol gauge range. Because when Errol's able to gauge the range against anybody, he's just a wrap. But how can you gauge range against Crawford when he's here, he's there, he's back there, he's inside, he's to the left, he's to the right, and there's no way Spence is as fast. You know, his shots are going to be, it's going to be such an epic fight because it's going to be like, man, Crawford's outboxing him, but then at any time Spence, boom, hits him, oh, shit, he just dropped Crawford. So, you know, obviously I expect Crawford to fully get up. If that happens, start boxing him again, but it'll make it intriguing. Like, you know, but I would lean towards Crawford in that fight. But that's the fucked up thing. It's like, yo, I don't want to see this fight marinate too long because I think this is the best one, man. I do. I think Crawford and Spence, that is legit, like, puts this whole welterweight generation on a map of its own. Like, and these guys got a long way to go before they could be hung up next to, their gloves can be hung up next to Pernell, hung up next to Felix, but they're on that track. They're on that same track, man. And that's the beauty of boxing. And I love that fight, man. That's my favorite. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua is my favorite fight. But as soon as that shit is done, I know that Spence and Crawford's coming. And that's going to be just a shining star type of fight. So that's it, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped just, thinking of the day that fight comes. Put that shit on pay-per-view. That's it. That's all I got.
Man, I just want Errol Spence talk with confidence when he speaks about Crawford. I don't want to hear that,
he probably knows it's far away.
Belt. So what? He needs to say
if I was
when.
Everybody's pushing the Thurman fight first.
People get on Errol Spence and Thurman, right? They get on Thurman case about his energy. Every time this man speaks about Errol Spence, he doesn't sound aggressively. His energy changed. Well, the same shit I see Thurman doing about Spence is the same thing I see when Spence talks about Crawford. And that's all I'm saying. I think the winner
they all want it.
Of
that's
this
the thing, like
fight
Thurman
should fight Keith Thurman for undisputed fight. It's just one
Thurman
fight.
Wants to see Spence in a tough. Yeah. Before Thurman fights Spence, he's like, I got to see this dude I got to see some steam come out of him a little bit. I got to see someone take something out of him. But this dude is too fresh. Crawford's at least, it would make more sense to me, like, for Spence and Crawford to fight before, but I don't think that's going to happen because Spence and Thurman obviously with the same promotional company. But damn, Crawford's going to end up, depending how much Horn can get out of him, would that be a tough fight? Won't it be a tough fight? Because each tough fight, you lose a little something. And